Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Vice-Chancellor of Montfort University, Professor Katie Normington.
Thanks very much, and a very warm welcome to all of you. I say warm welcome because it's absolutely freezing out there. So thank you so much for particularly making the effort on this very cold, what feels like a February day and is actually an April day. I hope this is a good day for you today. There's certainly going to be plenty for you to do, and hopefully what you'll pick up on is that we've got a very strong sense of community here with our staff and students. We all make that. And basically, as a university, we're here to empower people, to empower our staff, our students and our partners to create a fairer society. And we say that because what we're trying to do is make sure that everybody reaches their potential. And I think the stories that you'll hear that I talk about and the things you'll hear from our students after I speak shows you really that they are reaching their full potential, and that's what we aim to do as a university. But also as a city, we're really pleased to be here in Leicester. And recently, Leicester has been named the top performing city in the East Midlands by the Good Growth for Cities Index. And that's based on work-life balance, things around culture, things around business, and things about the cost of living here. So a great place to be as well. Now, our campus itself is very warm, friendly, easy to find your way about. It's very unique in a university in that we're only 2 minutes from the city centre, and yet we've got a campus which is integrated and it's all in one place. So do please feel free to explore as much of it as you can today. It ranges from the ancient to the modern, so you've probably seen things like the magazine which is next to us, the sort of medieval building, to obviously what we're standing in now, a very modern building. We've been using millions of pounds to build a campus that's really fit for purpose for people to study in and has great facilities. But we've got things like a swimming pool, a gym, a climbing wall, entertainments venue, art gallery, and lots of great facilities for people doing their own courses as well. So please do have a chance to look around the buildings where your programs may be based and the sort of facilities that we have on offer for you there. Now, I know where you study is important to you, but also where you live will be really important to you. And some of you may know Leicester City very well, and others of you might be visiting it. So just to tell you a few things about that. I think one of the things that I noticed, I came from London a year ago to take up my Vice-Chancellorship here, is just how friendly it is, but also how accessible. You can get to everything within kind of about a 10-minute walk. And we've got everything you need. We've got great big brand shops, but also quirky independents, really good arts, leisure, really good sport, some fantastic sporting venues here as well, which I know students really enjoy visiting. But also, we've been able to use our local connections to get extra discounts for DMU students at many of the shops and venues around the city. So if you come here as a DMU student, you'll be able to take advantage of that. The Student Living Index puts Leicester in the top 10 student cities in the country, and they base that upon the cost of living, the facilities here, and of course how much it costs to have fun. So we are a great student city. Recently we've won the Outstanding Support for Students Award at the Times Higher Education Awards. The Times Higher Awards are a bit like the Oscars for universities, except without some of the controversy that sometimes surrounds the Oscars. So we won this for a particular project which was called Making Diversity Your Business, and it brought together 30 Black, Asian and minority ethnic students and 30 local employers, and was really about showing both sides the opportunities that were here for them as graduates going into the city. And just to capture some of the students and their stories on that, one of them, Joshua Hyacinth, who took part, said that it was life-changing doing such a thing. Media production graduate Emmanuel Adeyemo also took part, and he believes it helped him secure his first job as a broadcast assistant at Beat London 103.6 FM, which is a leading community urban radio station, and he's now the production manager there as well. DMU Works, which is our career service, has been award-winning, and it provides specialist careers and employability support, which is really tailored for you. But also we guarantee every student a work placement opportunity when they come to DMU, and that's really important in terms of being able to secure employability when you leave university. All research says if you undertake a work placement, that's the one thing you can do which will help you secure employment after you leave. We're also running a programme called Leicester 1000, and it's run with Leicester City Council and the University of Leicester, and it aims to keep 1,000 graduates in the city after they graduate. So we do that by working with over 200 businesses in the city, and again we've got some great examples of that. I love the fact we've got a potential student who's only kind of under a year as well here, so really nice to see you here. Okay, so just thinking a bit about the right university for you. It's probably a place where you can begin to feel like we understand the sort of person that you are, and that you can find your people and find your purpose here. So some of the students who come here, I think, very much feel that they've got their own sense of direction and their own support since they've been here, and they've been sharing our stories with us. These are all students who we talk about as being part of Made for More. They're made from more. They're made from more because they come here and they find the things within themselves they perhaps didn't know that they had, but also we hope that they're made from more because we give them the support here from our tutors, from all of our support systems around them to make sure that as they graduate they feel that they are made from more. And one of those stories now is Becca, who you can see in this video.
When I applied for the university, I had a vision of what I thought student life should look like. DMU was not somewhere I seriously considered at first, but that all changed the minute I stepped foot onto campus. Visiting DMU completely changed my whole outlook on universities. I just had a really good feeling about it, and so I accepted my place to study psychology. I did find it hard moving away at first. I'm the oldest sibling in my family, and I'd never moved away from home. But I wound up living with 2 really outgoing student nurses and quickly settled in. I surprised myself with how brave I felt at DMU. But that's because there are so many opportunities available. I joined societies and sports clubs and got to know new people with similar interests. I even took up Taekwondo. I went on a DMU global trip to Seoul in South Korea. It was the first time I'd ever travelled abroad without my family. I also did a placement with DMU Works, helping other students secure work experience of their own. I took up the opportunity to become a student ambassador too, something I would have never had the confidence to do before joining DMU. I got the reins to my life at DMU. I went from a timid girl to a social butterfly. I found who I am.
You can see many more of those life stories on our DMU Leicester YouTube channel, and we were showing some of them just at the beginning as you walked in. So they include people like Tennessee, who had had a difficult time at school, came to us without A-levels and took our foundation science programme, and then went on to graduate from computer science. And she's said that she worked here with brilliant tutors, and it really gave her a second chance in education, and she's now working as a software engineer. There's also students like Charles, who studied digital marketing and social media, and he said that university wasn't really very easy at first because he's got a severe visual impairment, but he called it the most important journey of his life. And he found a platform to share his experience through his own radio show, and he gained a lot of confidence doing that, did a placement, got a first-class degree, and has now started his own business. We've also got the story of Gaddafi, who was torn between choosing football, which his dad wanted him to do, or his real dream of following dance. And he says that when he came for the DMU dance audition, it was literally the beginning of the life he imagined, and that he realised that he knew he was going to find a new family here. And he's now doing a master's degree with a professional dance company. So DMU aims to make sure that we are empowering our students, that we explore your abilities and potential so you can become confident and really become the person that you want to be and go and get the career that you would like. And that's caught up in our Made from More advert.
School. It's supposed to prepare you for life, but what kind? School. It's supposed to prepare you for life, but what kind?
Get a job, put your dreams on hold. I chose me. I'm alright. I didn't leave home.
I found a new home.
Come on in.
Joined a team.
Learn there's more than one way to see the world.
I found my people.
People who picked me up when I was down.
Deep breath.
Pushed me when I thought I couldn't go on. So, we're just gonna get this started straight away.
And helped me achieve the things I never thought I could.
28, 29, 30, and you're done. Well done.
People showed me that what you learn in books is just the start.
people who opened doors for me.
and help make the end of university a new beginning.
It's our goal to help every student reach their goal. Apply now and find out what you're made of. De Montfort University,
About
Leicester.
what it is that you'd like to find at the university that you're going to go and study at. And those questions may be about, will I be in an environment where I can be me? Will the teaching staff understand me and any extra academic support I might need? And those might be the things that you're thinking about at the moment. So De Montfort offers a strong learning community and great support with your degree and helps you really to adjust to life in higher education. And this year we're making some changes to the way that we teach. We're introducing something called Education 2030, and it imagines the sort of education that you'll need to prepare yourself for 2030, but it starts delivering it right now. And so many of you will have received, I think, a letter or a call over the last week just talking to you a bit about that. If you're from health and life sciences or engineering, you probably won't have done because we're bringing that on in the following year. But what Education 2030 does is shifts the way that we deliver the learning a bit. So unlike perhaps school, if you're doing A-levels or if you're doing an Access or BTEC, you might be doing 3 or 4 things at the same time. And that's the way that universities usually work. You would come in and do about 4 modules all in parallel. We're shifting that and saying we think it would be a better experience to do 1 intensive module over 7 weeks. So in that time, you get a really deep experience with your tutor, but also with your cohort of students. And it means that you get your assessment and examination in that 7 weeks. So when you go on to your next block, you already know what you've done and you've already got something in the bag. It also means that quite quickly we can see whether you need any extra support or help and put that in place for you. So we're really excited by that. And do please ask your tutors as you go around today for any more information about how that will be working. So I think some of the other things you might have in mind is, what sort of support will you get beyond the curriculum and beyond your learning itself? We've got a DMU, Healthy DMU Hub, which gives you all the online information you might need to kind of stay healthy and points you in the direction of where you might need some further advice or support. You might qualify for Disabled Students Allowance, which gives you money for extra support. And if you think you're one of those students, do please check at the Wellbeing stand today. We've also got a great student finance and welfare team. So for many of you, it might be the first time that you're managing your own money when you come here, so we can give you help and assistance in how to do that. And in some cases, we can also find extra funds if you're in hardship. And we've also got great opportunities through DSU, our student union, who run a lot of different societies and clubs. And that gives you the chance to find things outside of your course, meet other people, often run and help lead events as part of those clubs as well. And they're great ways of both meeting other people, but also getting your CV really full of exciting experiences. I've been talking quite a lot about Leicester and the things that we do here, but also DMU has got a great global outlook. We are the only university that works with the United Nations on the Sustainable Development Goals, and we've got SDG 16, which is about peace, justice and strong institutions. So it means that our students have been over to the United Nations headquarters in New York to do some work, and it also means that we embed within our curricula issues around sustainability in particular. So we're really pleased to be the only university in the UK to have one of those SDGs. Obviously, because the 17 SDGs, there's another 16 universities around the world that have each got their own one as well. So we're also thinking about bringing back, and we're now bringing back, some of our DMU global experiences. So I think in Becca's story there, she talked about how she did a DMU global trip. And those DMU global trips open up the world, they link it back to your course. And at the moment, we're offering trips over to LA. We've got a group of students out there who are working on film and animation, who are obviously looking at some of the Hollywood film setup and also attending some of the cartoon convention that's happening there at the moment. We've also got trips to Fiji and Seoul going on. So part of that global experience is something that we think is really important as a way to, again, give you an international experience, open up your skills and understanding of how the world may be. So our open days offer you a lot of chances to speak to people. Please do that. It's your day. The people are here that you need to speak to, so be they other students to ask them how they're experiencing DMU, or tutors, or indeed our kind of backup welfare and support teams. Please do ask all the questions you've got. If you're thinking of a question, Lots of other people will be too, so please do ask it of them when you attend the talks later on. But also you can start right away by getting in touch with the community of students that might be studying alongside you through our social media channels, in particular our Applying to DMU Facebook group. But what I now want to do is hand over to some really important people. The people can actually tell you what it's like to study here, a panel of true experts. So please do welcome our students here who'll be talking as well about some of their experiences. Thank you.
Hello, good morning everybody. So welcome to DMU and welcome to our student panel as part of your welcome talk this morning. My name is Ben and we want to give you a real insight into what DMU has to offer from the perspective of the people that know it best. So I'm joined here by a couple of our students. I'm going to get them to do some quick introductions. So Same, do you want to go first?
Hello everyone, my name is Same. I'm currently studying Master of Science in Architecture and Sustainability. I'm originally from Myanmar and I came to the UK in 2017 to do my bachelor's degree in architecture here at Montfort University.
Lovely. And Jesse?
Hi guys, I'm Jesse. I'm a third year animation student and I'm from Burnley.
Lovely, thank you very much. So for you guys, you've been at DMU for a little while now. So hopefully you've had some amazing experiences that we're going to hear about in just a moment. But can you cast your minds back to when you were perhaps in these guys' positions, when you first arrived onto campus? What were the kind of emotions? How were you feeling?
For me, it was a relief because I came from Myanmar, and before I started considering studying in the UK, I've never heard of the cities in the UK or UCAS application. So from the start, gathering information about the university, researching about the one that I want to go, and eventually applying for a visa, accepting the offer. So that was such a journey, and physically as well, it was 6,000 miles journey flight here, and before I've never been to abroad, let alone UK. So it was such a long journey, and the first day that I got here, I was standing in front of the Vijay Patel building, and I was holding my mom's hand, and we were quite emotional because we couldn't believe that I made it. I did it here, so it was very emotional, and it was a huge relief that I did it.
So for me, I knew I always wanted to be part of the animation industry. It was really around secondary school that I kind of wanted to pursue this. So kind of my journey through secondary school to college was kind of tailoring my portfolio to get to university. So when it came to the time where I finally got the opportunity to start applying, I did my research, looked for the universities that will be essentially the best one for me, and the Montfort University was the top one there. And it was going to open days, kind of like today, that really sparked that want to pursue animation and to study animation. And so once I had our personal tutor, the tutor there kind of give the course talk, that really kind of solidified me wanting to go here. And so once I was kind of ecstatic, after the open day, I really finalized my portfolio, and by the time it got to submission, I was fortunately given an unconditional offer and a place to study here at the Montfort. So that excitement kind of carried over all the way to September, because when you start moving in, you ideally want to move in start of October or late September. For me, I wanted to get out of my small town pretty fast, so I moved in start of 3rd of September. I was out the door and I moved into my studio flat, and I was really ready to begin my kind of independence, finally away from my family. Not that I disliked them or anything, but just I was kind of finally ready to move on, kind of spread your wings. And so when it came to finally studying here, I just kind of found my place. And it really is difficult to explain that feeling. You just have to be in that city, in that open day, and in that course talk to experience it yourselves.
Amazing, and some of you will obviously experience that hopefully today from some of the course talks you'll attend. Speaking of moving away from your parents, obviously a lot of you guys will hopefully have come down the road, maybe a couple of hours journey to get here today. I can't imagine many of you have travelled 6,000 miles to get here, so when you start feeling a little bit homesick, know that there are some of you that are going to have travelled a little bit further. So, talking a little bit more about our DMU journeys, we're going to look at some of the opportunities and the experiences that you guys have had, and hopefully some of you will have seen the videos that were sent to you via emails and recognise some familiar faces, some stars of those videos. So if you haven't checked those out, do make sure you go back and do so. So starting with yourself, Same, you've had quite a change coming to Leicester from Myanmar. Do you feel that DMU was the right choice for you in making that fresh start?
Yes, definitely. From the day one up until now, I've never doubted about it. So when I came here, I was already 2 weeks late for my course because of my visa issues. So on the day one, I went to Student Advice Center for my faculty and the Student Gateway. So I was really nervous. I didn't know what to do. But all the staff members, they were very supportive. So at the same place, I could enroll myself, register for my course, collect my student card and BOP all in one go. And they assigned me to my personal tutor, who was at the time one of the tutors for my course. And he was very understanding of my situation, why I was late. And he explained me everything about the course that I need to know, everything that I need to be aware of the university, because obviously I missed the welcome week as well. And because of that very supportive background, I managed to gain my confidence back. And also, since I was in my country, I signed up to this program called iBuddies, where an international student got paired up with one of DMU current student, so I could ask questions about the university, student life, and the city. Because of all those things, I actually felt that I'm going to be okay. And within 1 month being here, I managed to sign up to be one of the student ambassador, and I signed up to go to DMU global trip to Amsterdam, and I'm registered to study French as well. So because of all those opportunities, they really convinced me that I made the right choice, because I came all the way here not to get a degree, but to learn new things, to be adventurous, and to grow as a person.
Thank you very much. And hopefully, again, some of those opportunities will crop up today and you can learn a little bit more about those as you explore campus later on. So whilst the community here can play a big part in your university experience, we can't forget the impact that learning experiences can have. So Jesse, you've had lots of academic support and lots of opportunities through your course. Do you want to touch a little bit on those?
Yes, so the tutor that kind of gave that course talk ended up becoming my personal tutor. So he was kind of my foundation for university. Because I kind of came to Leicester not knowing anyone at all, he was like my go-to person to seek out for advice on how to kind of develop myself as an individual, because I was very shy. I can never really imagine myself now giving a course, a student panel talk like today, without my personal tutor. And so for me, he gave the opportunities to really push myself out of my comfort zone, so become a student rep, become a student ambassador, and that gave me the confidence to really break out of that shy self that I was back in my first year. And so similar to kind of improving myself, academically I would ask him for support on how can I improve as an artist, an animator, and how can I actually get industry links. And so he went about having connections with companies such as Aardman, so that's the people that created Wallace and Gromit and Chicken Run. And so he had one of their storyboard artists come in and would go through how to professionally create a storyboard. How do we frame one shot to another shot? And how do we do this effectively to invoke emotion in our audience? So that kind of workshop really pushed me further in thinking, okay, it's not just drawing all the time or just making characters move. You gotta think more of the psychological aspect of things, of that emotion when it comes to your work. So with that, after the workshop, we had a Q&A, so we got the chance to really speak with this storyboard artist to go about, as a student, how do we progress further after we leave university? And he kind of gave the talk about how you have to apply for internships and really hone your portfolio to a company that you want to apply for. And that was a really good eye-opener for me to really develop my style if I want to work in a certain company, or if I should be broad enough to apply for various ones, and then when it comes down to choosing, I tailor my portfolio towards them.
Lovely, thank you very much. And just to touch on to that as well, actually, Jesse, you've received help from our award-winning career service, DMU Works, as part of your studies. So how did that help you with sort of future career prospects and kind of furthering your studies from that?
So when you're in your first year, at the end of it, you'll be kind of introduced to DMU Works. So it gives you the opportunity for a sandwich year. So after your second year, you'll apply for a placement. And so I took the opportunity of DMU Works to really give me the information that I needed to apply for animation companies. So one of the companies that they had on offer was an internship for Disney in Hammersmith, London. So I really wanted to take this opportunity based on my admin workshop to really go for it. And that's honestly what you have to be. You have to be proactive when it comes to these companies. So I sought help from the team, and they gave me personal CV and cover letter workshops, as well as interview practices. So I really knew what I wanted to do, wanted to do, and to pursue the interviews if it ever came to it. And fortunately, I managed to get to the final interview for Disney, however, falling short just because of a little bit of industry, lack of industry experience, which is kind of expected for these big companies, but that didn't really deter me from where I wanted to go, as the opportunity that they were offering was not really drawing or the creative side of creating animation. It was more of the production coordination aspect. So you're overseeing this whole project from start to finish. And that kind of made me realize, okay, I knew I wanted to do animation, but there's a role for this. And that really sparked me to do a little bit more research and asking my tutors, how can I go about doing this? So we have a tutor who, I don't know if you guys know about CalArts, so one of the most popular animation companies, institutions in LA, California. And so we have this tutor that came in who also worked for DreamWorks, Disney and Pixar. So he worked on features such as Ratatouille, the legendary Shrek 2. So he has, he has the experience and the teaching to really help us. So he gave me kind of one of his contacts for when he worked with Shrek 2, a producer, Tony Consanella. And so he got me the opportunity to speak with him and ask about questions of how did you go from a student, from a production assistant to a project coordinator to eventually becoming a producer. So it's opportunities like that really paved a way for what I wanted to do and how to get there. And another company, I don't know if you've heard of Blue Sky, so the creators of Ice Age. A recent graduate of his worked on that film as a production assistant and then became a production coordinator. So from a student standpoint, rather than that of an actual professional who's been working there for years, it's really made me realize, okay, it is doable. I just need to go through these processes, these steps, these internships, and it's gonna be like a difficult and hard path, but hearing these stories from them and how they've gone about doing it made me really think, okay, I can do this myself. And one thing I do want to point out is these opportunities, they give you the initiative, but it's up to you as the individual to actually put the effort and drive to get it, because it's a competitive industry out there, but DMU offers you like the first initial stepping stones, and you need to take that opportunity to bring it all the way home.
Thank you very much. That was a very thorough answer. Also, can we just very quickly acknowledge, you just dropped into conversation there that he'd had an interview with Disney, just casually there, right? So don't sell yourself short, that was amazing. So we've got literally just one last minute to touch a little bit on your kind of experiences with Leicester in general. We have a wonderful city that hopefully some of you will be able to experience from today. So just in sort of a 30-second quick wrap-up, Same, what are your kind of experiences of Leicester?
For me personally, I just love its diverse and rich culture and community because I feel part of it. I don't feel left out. I feel really part of the community itself. And one of the things that I miss the most about my country after my family is my mom's home cooked meals. So I would go to Narborough Road, which was named the most diverse road in the UK in 2016. So I would go to Oriental Market and I would buy ingredients, ask my mom how to cook this recipe, and then I'll cook myself some traditional food, and that makes myself really happy. So I'm really happy that I can go to buy those stuff close to my home.
Lovely. Right, I think we're gonna leave it there because we are very conscious of time. We want to get you guys out onto campus very, very soon. So hopefully you'll make the most of the chance to explore our open day today. I'm going to hand you back to Katie in just a moment, but I hope you feel you've got a good sense of life at DMU from today's talk and from the rest of your experiences today. So thank you very much, and if you have any questions, please do come and have a chat with us after the session. But for now, I'm going to hand you back to our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Katie Normington.
Great, and a huge thank you to our students. It's their stories that motivate me as Vice-Chancellor, and in fact every month I meet a group of students. We'd call it Tea with the VC, and I do listen to their stories and think about how we can adapt our university practices and where we're going to make sure we're best empowering students, because that is what we're about, is making sure that university is transformational, that it takes you to where you want it to be. So again, thank you for coming. Have a great day. Make sure it's your day and you get what you want out of it, and all the best to you. Thank you.